What's up, people? Hey, so today I was thinking about the topic because it's a trending topic where the discussion is on a woman's body count, and I know that for number one, let me say this: body count, it does matter. But let's put that now in context. And what I mean by that is body count matters, yes, because it reveals a woman's mindset about her body. It reveals her mindset about her personal value, her perception on her personal value. I'll say that no man wants a woman that has made herself easily accessible in that department. No man wants a woman that doesn't see the value in trying to keep a level of chastity about herself. So let's put that on the table first, and then I'll follow it up by saying, because there's a narrative that body count only matters to a guy that's insecure or a guy that feels like he can't measure up, and that may be the case in some instances. But I seen a video the other day that kind of brought a really good correlation, and he said, if you got an opportunity to buy a Dodge Charger, I believe it is, and he said, and you got one and you pull the Carfax on it, and one has low miles, they're the exact same make, exact same model, the appearance wise looks the same, but when you pull the Carfax, the one has low miles, one owner, pristine condition. The other one, on the other hand, even though they look the same, had high miles, multiple owners, it's had a couple of fender benders, and it had some wear and tear on it, but it had all been repaired. And he said, which one would you buy? And he was asking this lady this, and she said, yeah, I would probably buy the one that that had the clean Carfax. And the guy made a pretty good point. He says, well, if I would do that for a material item such as a car, then shouldn't I do even more with a woman that I'm planning to spend the rest of my life with? And that's a very good point, because that is how a man considers that. Okay, it's not the me trying to measure up with her past, but it's okay, I need to examine what is her mindset now, what is her usage, and is this somebody that I can in good and clear conscience be with for an extended period of time, and hopefully, or most people aspire to be forever. So that is a very valid point, and I want to kind of add to that. Right. So for me, it's like that absolutely matters. And in conjunction with that, it matters when and how long ago. And here's why I say it that way. Because you can take a lady, let's say she's in her 20s, maybe even early 30s. She still hadn't got a great grasp on life. And at that age, especially nowadays, everybody wants to be relevant. They want to be seen. And many times, a woman can be gullible to a guy that has resources or means to getting things that young ladies like or desire to have, to appear to be relevant in society. So therefore, she's gullible to the idea of resource. So sometimes women will make themselves available in a sexual capacity in order to try to gain or secure resources. And especially in their, early 20s, 30s. I mean, you got women that are older doing it now too. But as far as assessing body count and the significance of it, then for me, if this is something that transpired in your 20s and maybe early 30s, 33 and under, then my question is, or my thing would be, I need to examine her headspace. I need to see where she's at now. I need to see what is her perspective about her past, and having a high body count. I need to hear, how does she perceive that? Does she feel shame about it, or does she, well, it is what it is? And while you can't change the past, for me, I would need to hear an honest assessment that there is a level of regret of being so available to guys in that area. I would need to hear some regret, because then what that tells me then is you at least now realize the value of trying to, or at least thinking about the chastity of you, that was the virtue of you that you devalue, right? So if you hear, well, I was kind of away, but looking back now, I wish I hadn't done it. But you can't change the past, but I wish I hadn't done that. Okay, that to me signifies a level of regret that, okay, now I get it. The light bulb didn't go off then, but best believe it's going off now, right? So for me, it's like, I believe you got to give some credit for that, because anybody can change, for the better or the worse for that matter. But I don't believe that you can personally completely judge or condemn a woman for her past in that way if it was during her gullible years. Now, if you in your mid-late 30s, 40s, and you still cutting up, you're a 304. Let's just say that's what that is. You're a 304, and and body count will damn you. Then that's what that is. But in your early 20s, you're a little gullible. You wanting different things, whatever this may. Now, I'm not condoning it, because again, even still, because you have women in their 20s that understand the value of that. So again, I'm not excusing it. You still should use a level of chaste and a little bit of virtue about. You should be able to see that about yourself, that you don't want to give out something of great value that you can use as, I'm not going to say leverage, but you can use as your value to attract the mate that you desire to have. I believe there's a little bit of discipline and chaste that has to be intact. You have to put in place, that you have to consider. That's what I believe, right? So if during those times you unfortunately didn't get it, didn't use the best of judgment, and you got in some predicaments with some people, and you allowed what should have been sacred to be overused, overly available, and then at some point the light went off and you got it, and since that time your behavior has changed. You have some regret, some remorse about self-betrayal, and you wish you could get those years back. I believe, that's just me, but I believe that a woman deserves some credit for that. At some point, I believe that at some point she's paid a bill by being still available longer than she would have desired, and she knows that it's more than likely due to a guy not wanting to commit to somebody that everybody done had, right? So at some point, again, if there's some change that is taking place. Well, okay, well now, you know, she's cleaned up herself. She doesn't hit those spots where, you know, she once frequented. She don't deal with the guys that she once dealt with and everything. So now she understands. Now she begins to see that she knows her guy triggers. In other words, she knows that the type of guys that she go to and that she was going with, she don't deal with those kind of guys. She stay clear from that. You know, again, that to me signifies there's been a level of change. So I believe that, you know, a woman at least deserves a look and a conversation if those things are present. I believe that some of the things that you can look at, though, that will tell that she's probably still there. She maybe just putting a sweater over it. And if she still likes and seeks attention, she still presents herself in a way that she knows, because let's not play games. She knows that men desire to see her this way. A woman that wears tight clothes, revealing clothes, short clothes, or emits a type of sexuality. When a woman frequents that lane, she knows what it is. And if she's had she's got a lot of bodies on her name and she's still doing that, then it's probably safe to say there's probably more bodies being added as we speak. So that type of behavior, that type of look, you know, is what I believe you should take into account, and you should consider that, okay, yeah, maybe this is not the one that I need to take seriously, because she's not even taking herself seriously. So body count absolutely matters. But for me, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that believes this, but you also have to take into account the vicinity of time of when this mortuary was running, if you will. You got to take that in consideration. I'm not saying that I'm for or against, for that matter, a guy taking a woman with that kind of past. But what I am saying, though, is just for me personally, that is something that I believe should be taken into consideration. This your boy Cope, out.